get a sweet bowl. Okay, well, moving right along.
We better make sure we have sweet balls before we start making promises.
Krishna. Wow, you're all so polite too. Okay, so, sorry. Vasati Dashana Sikare. Wow. Dharani Tava Lagna. So this Vasati means it dwelled, like it's like Vasa, Sri Vasa or Srinivasa, the dwelling of Sri. So this is the verb Vasati, to dwell. Whew. So Dharani, the earth, dwells on the peak. Shikara means a peak. Actually, all those words like Shikara, Shekara, and Shika, they all refer to something that's sort of pointed, like sort of like that flame shape. And so Shikare means on the peak of Dashana, like a tusk. Dashana can mean like a tooth or a tusk. So like the horn of Lord, boar. He has a tusk. So that's the shikara. Dashana shikara means like a tooth horn.
Do those have horns or they have tusks?
Tusks. So that's how you say it. I was sort of doing it literally from the Sanskrit. But yeah, it's a tusk. So Vasati, so Dharani Tava Lagna, like attached to you, fixed on you, it says here in the translation, fixed on you. So Shashini, so the moon is called the rabbited, like a rabbit, because Shasha means rabbit, and Shashi means something that has a rabbit. So if you look at the moon, you've all seen that. If you look at the moon, you can see the profile of a rabbit. Also Shashanka. What is it? What's that verse in the Gita that Nata Bhasyate Suryo Nashashanka Napalaka, neither the sun, the moon, nor fire illumines my abode. So Anka means a mark. So Shashanka, Shasha Anka means it has the rabbit mark. That is another description of the moon, or Shashi. Like Shashi means something that has the rabbit on it. So Shashini, Kalanka, Kala, faint spot, Nimagna. So the idea is that Lord Varaha was so big, the whole earth was just like a little spot on his horn or tusk. So that's what I was saying. You know how big he was? Like the whole earth was just like a little spot there. So this is like a gigantic cosmic form, which is hundreds of times bigger than the earth. And so it took place up in the sky. Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna. Nimagna means like merged. Actually, it's exactly the English submerge, because magna means merged and ni is like sub, like down. So ni magna is literally submerged. Ni magna Keshava Dirta Shukara. And it's even funny because the hog is kind of like, it's just like the word crow. In the Sanskrit word for crow is onomatopoeic, because like the crow goes, like in English you spell C-A-W, ka. So kaka means the one who makes the ka sound. So the word for crow in Sanskrit is kaka, making ka. So similarly, here, the hog makes like a sound like shoo, like a hog says shoo kara, making the shoe sound. So it's funny. So that's one of the words for a hog. Keshava Drita Shukara Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So since you all passed the test and realized I was doing the Lord Tortoise song, I'm happy. You're also polite.
Okay, we're gonna get there.
So we'll sing this song. So maybe we'll do it for first line by line in the whole song. Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna.
Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna.
Shashini kalanka kalevani magna.
Shashini kalanka kalevani magna.
Keshava drita shukara rupa. Keshava drita shukara rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
So, do you want to sing?
Vasati dasana sikare tarani tavalagna.
Vasati dashana shikare dharani tavalagna.
Sashini kalanka kalevani magna.
Shashini kalanka kalevani magna.
Keshavadrita shukarupa.
Shavadrita shukara rupa.
Jai Jagadisha Hare.
Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare.
Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So, another spectacular avatara. And this one is actually, I've already said that the Lord Ra was so big. Imagine the whole earth was just like a little spot on his horn tusk. So,
Should we have a debate over whether the earth is round or flat?
If it was flat, it would stick through the tusk.
yeah, perforated,
paper.
the tusk would have perforated it. Actually, it's, but Krishna's so playful. If you think about it, children, they play like that. Like children will play like I'm an animal or I'm in this or that. It's just very normal. And so Krishna is youthful. It's not that there's some great majestic God that's playing like this. I mean, he really is like that. That's really Krishna. And it's rather that Krishna sort of goes all majestic for people that need that. Because people are not so devoted or just not so free of material consciousness if they'll misunderstand these things or take them for granted or think it's mythology or this or that, but Krishna really is playful. He really is youthful. And the idea that, well, someone who creates, the creator must be august and majestic, because if you think about it, there's no real logic there. It's just an assumption we have. And of course, like the whole point of majesty is to keep a proper distance. But in Krishna consciousness, the point is not to keep a distance, it's to actually close the distance, it's to develop an intimate relationship. But like I found in my own life, it's like serving as a guru in ISKCON, that some people, if I'm just sort of friendly or something, it leads just to inappropriate behavior. Whereas, other people, you can be friendly with them and it's just like, for example, the man and woman. If a woman is, kind or friendly, some men can't, they take that as an invitation to something inappropriate. Whereas among people who are more mature, who are more intelligent, who are just more self-controlled, they have the privilege of intimacy, of friendship because it doesn't lead to either party taking the other person for granted. So, so that's why Krishna is very advanced. It's funny because it's a very advanced understanding. To actually have an intimate relationship with Krishna, one must be pure enough so it never leads to foolishness. And yet, Krishna is attractive to people in general also. So Krishna displays these pastimes. He allows people to have this intimate look at him. At the same time, to cross that, what you'd call it, sort of like that line between, let's say, deity worship, where and actually be with Krishna. I mean, the deity is Krishna, but there's another stage where you don't have to go into a majestic temple and you don't have to go to a temple and have like sort of this reverence of bowing down. I mean, in the spiritual world, I don't think they offer obeisances. I don't think they bow down to Krishna every day because they can have that intimacy and yet at the same time always it's not that in Vrindavan they think, oh, I'm being intimate, but he's really God. It's that when you love someone, if you love someone enough, you can never be inappropriate. Because inappropriate behavior in a relationship comes when you take someone for granted. But if you truly love someone, you don't take them for granted. Although it's interesting that even Arjuna feared he had done that, because Arjuna was put into illusion, because in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 11, after he sees the Virat Rupa, he says to Krishna, forgive me, Shantumar, because I just took you for granted. I thought, oh, he's just my friend. And so even Arjuna sort of playing that part and showing that even if Krishna is so merciful as to offer his friendship to us, we should never take him for granted. And so therefore that scene is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So, any questions, comments?
So that last point you made, we might be engaging intimately with another devotee, but in our heart we can keep that gratitude, right? Like not get complacent or something. It's more about the consciousness.
Yeah, there's respect because let's say I have an intimate relation with another devotee, but I know this is a Vaishnava, this is a servant of Krishna. And so even intimacy is mixed with genuine respect. Because the more you value Krishna, the more you value Krishna's devotee. If you see that someone is a very sincere devotee, then even intimacy is mixed with respect and appreciation. And so one becomes, say you cross a line when you forget to appreciate, or you forget that this person, it's just like one should not forget. I mean, there's so many stories of pujaris, falling down because you can do all these ceremonies that involve sort of awe and reverence and respect, but it can just become like a ritual you do. Like you see sometimes like the Brahmins or people in other religions, like, they're chanting mantras they've chanted a million times, and swaha, swaha, and it's obvious. It's just mumbling through it. And so I remember there's one story where, oh my gosh, anyway, it was Temple Canada, and the temple president was actually becoming offensive toward senior devotees, and then his wife was the pujari and fell down with the male pujari, and then he gave up Krishna, and it's just like, so it's like, I mean, there's so many, not so much anymore, because back in the old days, people were young and like these sort of walking Vedic hormones. And I mean, it's like all the formality of deity worship didn't save people from losing control of their senses. Although it helps. I mean, the formality, I'm not saying that the formality is useless. If you go into a temple, then of course, for us it's sort of a special thing to see the deities. And so we do feel that great respect, but Yeah, and that's, I mean, the privilege of intimacy with Krishna, the privilege of intimacy with Krishna's devotees comes in proportion to our ability to enjoy that intimacy and yet not forget. And really, it's between all devotees. I mean, it's not just that, I mean, even a guru has to see the disciple as a great soul, as someone who's serving Krishna. So it's that's real spiritual advancement. Because the more we really understand Krishna, the more we really understand ourselves as a soul and other people as souls, the more one is free or has the privilege of wonderful loving relationships which in no way lead to forgetting Krishna or trying to enjoy the world. And then ultimately when we go to the spiritual world, I mean, souls are pure. There are these intimate, loving relationships between souls and between souls and Krishna, and yet no one forgets. So, any questions? Yes.
What would be an appropriate prayer for Varahadev, for us in today's world?
Please pick up this. I mean, this world really has fallen into the muck.
Mm.
And we live in a world which has just become beastly. Even the way people talk, F this and F that and no effing way, and they're just like, it's like they're like animals.
Mm.
Even their language is just beastly. And I mean, when I was young, I mean, all kinds of things that you could never show on television when I was growing up. Now it's on television. So people really have become just like, they say, dvipada pashu, two-legged animals. Two-legged animals. And so we just have to pray to Lord Varaha to pick this planet up out of the filth that it's in. So, anything else? Well, it's nice to be here in the Association of Devotees. Lord Varaha Deva Ki Jai.
Jai.
So, I guess this concludes.
Thank you.
So, how many books did we get for Charity Day? Song books.
Oh,
I think 6 is okay for now because
Yeah.
we have